Hi, this is Larry with Larry's Political Point of View. This afternoon, I wanted to talk to us about freedom of religion and what that means to different people. We're in the United States of America, where we have people from all over the world come here and to become citizens and work in this country or study in this country on student visa. And some of them actually stay and fall in love with this country. Or when they leave this country, they get an understanding what the United States is all about and why we are the way we are and the freedoms that we have. But let's talk about some undisturbing things that's going on right now. And I feel that we need to address it, that our president needs to address it, no matter who that is. A lot of Trump supporters, I'm going to say at least 50% of them, is talking about white nationalism and talking about Christianity nationalism. And I'm going to tell you that that's going down a wrong path. And the reason why I say that is we have a freedom of religion for all. A lot of our founding fathers came from England, and England depressed down to one religion, and it was only accepted. And some countries are only Catholic can be in the country and stuff. And see, that's not freedom of religion. You're telling your people and you restrict them to a certain thing. So Trump supporters are very supportive of the national Christianity, and that's not what it's they're going to be disaster and whatnot. It's leaning on the edge of Nazism and white nationalism, and we don't need that in this country. It's evil. God wouldn't want that. He does not want that. You know, he says he loves all red, white, blue, but we love our flag, but we also love our different people in our country. Black, brown, white, yellow. He loves them, everybody. But I am also open-minded that there's other faiths here that have different beliefs, and they're here for trauma reasons. They had to leave their country because of fear, endangerment, and they brought their faith with them. And that's what freedom of religion is the ability to have the freedom for everyone. Christians believe that God is their Lord and they only serve Him and His glory. Other religions do the same. They have different things. Now, I might be against communism and socialism. It will destroy a country. I mean, you take a look at Russia for an example. It's embedded. China is also embedded. People walk around not happy. They have frowns on their face. Doesn't matter what time of the year you go visit. Someone told me the other day that the reason why Russians, they don't get the vitamin B that we need out of the sun, and during the winter time. And I said, no, it's year round. Take a look at the videos. Watch your videos year round. They feel like they're a robot. Their government is telling them what job to do and what they're going to major in, and they need to succeed in that. There's no freedom. When you have that, it's just absolutely destroying. No, the socialism I'm talking about is when the government tells you what job, tells you what to do, tells you if you can do that or not, and that's not freedom. We do have some socialist programs in our country that we have that are good things. For an example, Social Security, food stamps, Medicaid and Medicare. Those are socialist programs that we would say that they work, and they work well when they're managed right and corrected right. But I do believe the United States can do a much better job on healthcare. And why is that different than freedom of religion? Well, it's a right. It's a right that people live and the way they want to live, but it's also a right that they've got to make sure that they live in a healthy environment and stuff. And when we say there's only one religion in the country, you're confining people. Freedom of religion was based upon the freedoms that we have in our country. If you're Chinese and you want to believe in Buddha, that's fine. There's Hindus, there's Muslim, there's Sikh. These are all different religions. There's Taoism. It's belief that you want to believe in, and you should have the freedom to do so and express yourself and whatnot. I don't believe that a religion forces itself on you and they tell you that this is the way it is. That's pushing something on a person. That's restricting them. That's not giving them the freedom for them to choose. I believe that God has given us the ability to have freedom. We have choices, and we need to follow those choices the way we want to. They can talk to you and they can preach at you or give a talk to you, whatever the faith is, but if you don't want to do any more of it or don't want to be pushed into it, then they need to leave you alone. Let you grow on your own terms. Freedom of liberty just means that freedom of the expression to celebrate the Christianity or whatever faith that you follow, and no one should be persecuting you for it. There's a progressive group that pushes on their values and stuff, and the cities and stuff, and they want the whole country to follow it and stuff, and without realizing there's a different rural area, there's country folks that live in the country. They have different values, they have different reasons to believe in what they do. We need to be understanding of that when we talk about freedom of religion. When we went into Iraq the second time and we were going to liberate them and they're all going to be happy and whatnot, they did not understand their culture, their religion, and their beliefs. So even though they celebrated that Saddam Hussein was gone, he still had a thing over their people. And one minute they were celebration that they had the freedom, and then all of a sudden they see the United States restricting them and whatnot, and checking them and treating them like horrible and whatnot. The United States had good intentions, but they didn't know how to take care of it. They didn't understand the response of their culture. You're going to go in a country and you're going to do something. You got to understand their religion. You got to understand their freedoms. You got to understand their culture, and you got to help them get there. Muslim countries don't like Christian people in there, and even though some countries starting to allow Christianity in, they want their main country to be Muslim. To me, that's not freedom of religion. To me, that's restrictive. Freedom of liberty means freedom to express, to worship, to go whenever you want to. You're not going to be hiding in a basement to celebrate the person that you're talking about, your faith and whatnot. We all have these freedoms, and we need to be respected of that. And when we get a party that starts to restricting that and stuff, we need to listen to what is being told to us by them, because they're telling you what they're going to do. And that vote that you're doing, you need to understand it and stuff. I'm going to say 90% of my life I voted Republican when it comes to presidential elections. I hardly ever wavered from it. But fortunately, these last 3 elections has forced me to vote for different people. And I don't like it. I don't like voting for someone I don't really agree with and whatnot. But I'm going to stick up for the freedoms that we have, and we're going to stick up for the democracy. And when we got a party that I used to follow and whatnot, and now they're getting away from that, and they're causing chaos and they're causing problems and whatnot. To me, that is a problem, and we have to understand what it's going to do to us. Liberties are there for a reason. You can vote on it, but you can't take them away either. Freedom of religion also means don't restrict people. Don't tell them they can't do this or that because of one faith. I'm going to give you an example, and this is a sore subject, and I understand that. But I'm pro-life. But however, I feel that we don't need to be telling women. Government needs to stay out of women's choices and stuff. That's between her and her doctor and her family. And that's the way it should be. And it should be with their faith as well. Because you got other faiths that are in this country that believe in certain things, but yet we're allowing one faith take over everything. That is restricting other people's beliefs and whatnot. And I'm totally against that. I'm for our freedoms that our founding fathers gave us. I am in love with the fact that I go to 2 different churches and learn from their different faiths and stuff, and really pray and really seek out and understand the other faiths that are around you, so that if you have a conversation, you can have a general, honest conversation without forcing anything on anyone. The 2 churches I'm going to right now don't do that. They welcome you in. One church asks you to fill out a form, leave it in the offering, and then they will contact you and reach out to you, and they ask to meet you. They're not forcing themselves onto you. There's another faith that I go to that I went to a different couple of wards, and it's the Latter-day Saints. And I walked in and I sit down and I was in my suit, and I couldn't even get in the door and sit down, and they were having people come up to me and they want to know why I was there, did I just move into the ward. I just felt like I was being attacked. And I've been in other wards where you just walk in and sit down, and the bishop or the elders president, quorum, would walk up to you and introduce themselves, and they were just so friendly and not so pushy but welcoming. I love that. I just don't like being attacked when you're getting from your door to the seat that you want to sit in to listen to the sermon or listen to the talks without being, why are you here? Who are you? And it made me so uncomfortable on one ward that I literally left the ward. I left right in the middle of the sermon. I didn't even get 10 minutes in the seat. I just left because I felt so uncomfortable. Freedom of religion means if someone off the street that believes in Taoism or believes in Buddhism or Muslim, and they just want to go sit and have a different opinion and just searching things out, doing their own research, and they go in and they get that sort of attack going on, it leaves them a bad impression. You got to think about that. If you go allow them to sit down and enjoy the sermon and stuff, and then afterwards you walk over and you're a church leader and you're introducing yourself and you're asking them questions and stuff, and they're warm questions and thank you for coming and stuff. That's the appropriate way of doing things. And so what I'm saying about this is you got to respect people, and you got to respect different religions. Yes, you might believe the one that you're in and what you believe in, but you got to also allow them to believe in what they are. Allow them to have the experience to celebrate. I don't think that we need to be forcing anything on anyone with freedom of religion. People don't forget that. This country was based on freedom of religions. It's based on freedoms that we get for having our freedoms. And democracy is one of them, and it's on being attacked right now. I think that's the Democratic Party is so right about that, and it's a shame that the Republican Party don't mention that. There are laws that restrict our freedoms, as they say, and whatnot, but there are certain laws they can't restrict them. Freedom of speech is being attacked right now. And I watched Jeremy Hale's YouTube channel. And what that man's going through right now, he's being restricted from his not having his guns. He's restricted to part of his land. He's restricted where he can go based upon a woman who nothing but lies, and she knows, the courts knows she's nothing but a liar. She's tried to get an attorney in trouble by lying about him and whatnot. She's so destructive. She's got a 4 or 5-year-old daughter living with her and whatnot. Says that she has all these diseases and stuff. She's got a rare disease and she can't be around people and whatnot. But then she puts them in danger. Leaves them in the vehicle. Takes her grocery shopping. No mask. No nothing. Lies upon everything and people. And I really feel sorry for Jamie Hales and what he's going through and his family, George. It just soaks my heart. They have the freedom of religion. They have freedom to do things. And when a judge falsely comes in and restricts you and takes your right away and whatnot and restricts your speech and restrict your Second Amendment rights, there's something wrong. He's in there trying to provide jobs and in Otter Creek and just to try to do the change and make it a better place for everyone, and he's been criticized. And you got a stalker, and she is a stalker, it's proven fact, comes and stalks him across the street and whatnot, and she starts pinning at him and whatnot and spreading lies about him and whatnot. It's sad. It's just so sad. And I don't want him contacting me. I don't want any of his YouTube followers following me or contacting me. I'm just saying, this man lost his freedom. He lost his freedom of religion. He's lost his freedom of speech. It's terrible what he's going through. And what he does for his money and what he does for his viewers and stuff in the township, the Christmas party for the kids that he had and did for them and stuff, it's really disappointing in me that to see someone like that go through losing the freedoms that he have for liars that this woman has put on him and Crooked John. Freedom of religion has to mean everything to everyone. If I have an Asian friend that he believes in Buddhism, and I talked to him about it. He asked me questions, I asked him questions, and I'm going to be honest, it has been a great conversation with him. I never walked away from his conversations with me or him feeling bad and stuff. He explained things, I explained things to him, and I could tell that when we were done, there's peace in our conversations that we have. We need to have them for everyone. I believe in the freedoms that we have because we need to fight for them. We have men and women that join the service and they go across the world to protect those freedoms and get involved in stuff. Now, I give you my views on foreign policies. National policy is this that we're talking about, and there's going to be other videos on it, and it's going to be talking about freedom of religion, giving our freedoms. Now, if you have mental problems, you shouldn't be having a gun near you or anything. When I talked about Jeremy Hales and George, he has no mental problems. He should never ever been put in that position by a judge to lose his freedoms that he surely enjoys. And that man is fighting for it and whatnot. He's even filed a lawsuit against her. He's already, like he said, he's already put in $150,000 to earn his freedoms back. It's worth him fighting for. It's worth him fighting for what he does for his community and the community support that he gives. And like I said, I don't want his followers contacting me. I don't want him contacting me. I don't want anything to do with him. I'm just saying we need to be fighting for our freedom of religion, freedoms that we have. And we need to fight for democracy that we have. It's on being attacked right now, and it's not good. Conservatism is a good thing, but when you allow one person to take over your party and worship him and whatnot, you're taking your conservative values and shoving them down the toilet and saying, my hands are up, this man's it, and you're following the devil of himself. And yes, I'm talking about President Trump. President Trump had good values. He had good values that all conservatives could follow. But then when he started changing things and start doing the things that he wanted to do and cloud his judgment and whatnot, he's not a good man. He's not. And I'm on this channel, Larry Political Point of View. I told you there's going to be no lies. It's straight up. It's just how I see it. There are things that Biden has done that I don't agree with, and I'm going to call him out on it. That's the freedom of speech that I have, freedom of expression that I have. I talked to you about freedom of religion. I talked to you about liberties. Liberty is for everyone, not just one faith. Taking a woman's rights away is restricting. You're taking her liberty away. You're taking her freedom of religion away, of what she believes in and stuff. We've got to stop this nonsense. You can pass laws that are helpful in guiding each state and stuff. I like laws that allows each state to decide what they are, but there are certain laws need to be written by federal government because the federal government is an oversight of the state. I think our justice system and the Supreme Court is corrupt. They're doing it. They should be judges that are, when they get to the courtroom, whatever goes on outside, whatever they believe in, goes away. They judge on the merit of the Constitution, and they judge upon what the laws read. They might disagree with it. They might throw a law out because they think it's against the Constitution, because it's against what they believe. State and church needs to be separate. When you're on that judge, you're being a judge for the American people, of all faith and all religions. And when you took the rights away from women and now you're allowing all these other things, it's not going to stop just there. It's going to be everything. And they don't care about other faith and whatnot. So if you're going to follow the Constitution, then you're taking away the freedom of religion. You're not following the Constitution and what it says and what it means. Constitution was written to give us the freedoms that we have. A judge should not ever be taking our freedoms away from it when it knows that it's based upon lies. It's so wrong. We need protecting the democracy that we have. We need to protect the freedoms that we have. And when it goes to riot, we all need to rise up and talk about it. The other day I saw a pastor preach on the news and stuff, and how he felt that the Bible that Trump put out put our rights in it and our Constitution in it. And I believe what he's saying was true. That's hypocritical when you do that. You're combining church and government into one. and you're ignoring everybody else, and you're ignoring everybody else's faith and whatnot. There's a reason why we have the church separated from the state government and our local government and our federal government. They're two different things. The government that our Constitution is written is upon the people, by the people, and for the people. Christianity is God is our Father in heaven. God is our one that we answer to. He's our King, and we will serve Him, and we'll answer to Him, and one day we'll all go to heaven. Doesn't matter what faith we are. If you're Buddhism and that's what you believe, and you go to the temple and you honor your God and stuff, you have the freedom and ability to do that here. And no religion should pose themselves on other religion and say how wrong they are. I won't tell you how many churches I've been in that they talk about different faith and whatnot and how wrong they are. The two churches that I belong to right now is the LDS and Red Rock Community Church, and they all don't do that. They talk about their faith and why they think they're right, but they don't pose themselves on other faith and say how wrong they are. I do like Red Rock Church because of that reason. They welcome everyone in. Doesn't matter who you are, who you believe in. You're just there to have communion there. You're there to have company. You're there to learn and to grow. And that's what it's all about. You can have a one-on-one with the missionaries. You can have a one-on-one with the pastor and talk about what you believe in, what you're looking for, and get answers that you want. That's how things work. That's what freedom of religion is. You're not being forced to do anything. Now, I might disagree with because I'm pro-life, I might be against abortion and stuff, but I'm not going to stop someone from acting out on their faith and whatnot. That's what it is. Freedom of religion. I'm not going to pose myself with a law or whatever to restrict someone's choice. And that's what's going on. And the Democratic Party is trying to fix that. But you got the Republican Party that realized they made a mistake and stuff. That's why I said I think certain laws need to be passed by the federal government, but some laws can be dealt with from each state and what they chose to do because it's the freedom. But no faith should be overstamping other faith. It's so wrong, and it's against the Constitution. If you're a really truly believer in federalism and believing in the Constitution and stuff, you need to understand that means all freedoms, even though our faith says to be against it. Again, we only answer to God, our God. We don't answer to the government and force ourselves upon the government and our religion. Then it becomes hypocrisy. It needs to stop. It needs to stop and allow people to have their freedoms and stuff. If you don't want your Second Amendments taken away, then you don't want any freedoms that we have taken away. It's that important. It's that simple and clear. I don't want communism to come into this country and ruin it, or socialism. Is socialism here? Is communism here? Absolutely. It's here. But I'm not going to tell them to restrict it and stuff. That's just not going to happen. But I will give faith, I will give understanding, and I will give it growth. And I will allow everyone to have their freedom and freedom of religion. You got to really study it, what it means, and you got to study the Constitution. And you need to be open-minded and stuff, and realize some of your thinking is wrong and stuff. You need to be willing to listen to other people and them talking about freedom of religion. It's that simple and that understanding. You need to understand things, and you need to, before you do anything, you need to understand it. Venkaswamy was a Hindu running for the Republican Party and from president and whatnot. He was even though I didn't agree with what he was saying, people started to listen to him and understand him. But then he got, in his own party, he got shut off because of what his faith was. They turned him away from it because Christian nationalism. Well, I'm sorry. Christian nationalism is a bad thing. You're basically putting yourself against Hitler and the Nazism and white nationalism, and no. This theory about white replacement and stuff like that's a bunch of barky-hoss. And you got to understand each culture and why they're doing things and why they're here and what they're doing, and the reason why they're here is because they have the same beliefs and stuff. A lot of people are talking about how the Spanish people, the Mexicans, are coming across the border and stuff, but then yet they want to vote for Trump, and they're turning away from the Democratic Party because they want the same thing that we want as Americans. They want to be protected. They want their borders secured. They want their freedoms to be talked and not taken away from them and stuff. Some of the Democratic Party and the Progressive Party is wanting to take the faith away and stuff, and they want us to believe in science and stuff like that. I do believe science is there, and they share a light on things, but they need to be open about it too and whatnot. Do I believe that our world is becoming an end to because of the global warming and stuff? No. Do I believe in global warming? Yes. You got to be realistic and stuff. We're changing things, and we're going into electric cars, and we're going all these electric stuff. That's fine and stuff, but they got to understand farmers are dependent on farm equipment that uses propane or uses fuel, uses diesel. Same way with our truck drivers and stuff. And we can curb our oil impact, but we're not going to take it away and stay. Same way with coal. Coal are sources that we use. We can change it over time and whatnot, but you got to do it gradually. You can't force yourself on what they believe and why they do the jobs that they do. And some of them, like ranchers and coal miners and stuff, have been doing it for generations. You're basically taking the ancestors' way. It's moonshining, it's the same thing. I believe that we can drill responsibly, we can produce oil and gas responsibly, and make sure that we keep it clean. That's what our government is supposed to be doing, is helping us with that. This is Larry with Larry's Political Point of View. If you love or liked my videos, or if you want to leave a comment, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and you'll get more content like this, open-minded and whatnot. I want to at least get up to 1,000 subscribers, and then I want to start having podcasts, open live, and we can talk about these things. I'm going to have guests in my community, or even different things and whatnot that they've dealt with and whatnot. Midas Touch is a great network system, but I want to go in more depths. They're focused on Trump this and Trump that, and there's other things that are more important out there that needs to be talking about. They don't talk about it and stuff. I've seen Texas Paul, talk about different things, but he just scratches the surface. I want to get more in depth and why I believe the way I do. I'm going to have different faiths in here. My next video is going to be on our rights, our Constitution, and why we have them, and why the government needs to be doing certain things, and why government needs not to be doing it and stuff. We're going to be talking about that because this is a subject that people need to understand when they're voting. This is the determination they give across. And do I want to lose my freedom? Do I want to lose my rights? Or do I need to stick up for them and whatnot? And even though we might disagree with it, and our faith might disagree with it, we can't allow our freedoms being taken away. And pastor was very clear and very right to what he was saying. about Trump's Bible. This is Larry Point of View. Talk to you in a couple days. Thank you for watching.